Welcome to SuperDavedevYT channel, SuperDavedev. We are watching Formula 1 at Styria F1 in Austria. The race just started. Max Verstappen leads. Dude, there's a massive fights happening. Oh, who's that? Mazepin? Did Mazepin slide? I think he did. Okay, so we've got Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, Sergio Perez, Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, George Russell. Someone is going to the pits. Charles Leclerc goes into the pits. Charles Leclerc has got front wing damage. He goes into the pits. Lando Norris is in third, man. That's pretty cool. That's nice. That's really good. What is Pierre Gasly doing? Pierre Gasly is in Alonso. Where is Pierre Gasly? Russell is in 8th, Alonso 7th, Stroll is in 6th, Bottas is in 5th. What happened to Pierre Gasly, dude? Gasly is in last position. Oh my goodness. Oh, is it Pierre Gasly? Pierre Gasly has a left rear damage. Left rear damage. Pierre Gasly had a puncture and that basically forced him to... What is happening? Max Verstappen fastest lap 1 minute 10. 1 minute 10 fastest lap from Max Verstappen. Pretty tired. I had zero sleep last night. Pretty tired. I do apologize for being tired, but hey, it's a weekend. If you don't sleep during the weekend, you don't sleep, man. George Russell is up to 8th. He's in a Williams, so you have to understand Williams is one of the worst cars. Basically, bottom two teams is Haas or Williams. Those are one of the worst teams in the bottom. That's why it's very good for Russell to be at number 8, position number 8. So will Valtteri Bottas be able to help and assist Lewis Hamilton? I'm guessing no. I'm gonna assume no. I think Valtteri Bottas is fed up. He's fed up with the team. I think there's so many reasons we will never know. They're just showing a replay of the start. They're showing how Charles Leclerc lost his front wing. Pierre Gasly did a really bad job, dude. I don't know what happened with him exactly. They are just showing that Pierre Gasly had one of the worst starts that you could have, basically. DRS is enabled. DRS is enabled, which means that overtaking is going to be way more intense. Sergio Perez is basically going after Lando Norris, which is in third. Lando Norris in third, so Sergio Perez is in the fourth. Fastest lap for Max Verstappen, 1 minute 9 seconds, 0.6. So 1/16 of a second. Sergio Perez has got DRS enabled. He might catch up to Lando Norris the next couple of laps. Lando Norris does seem to be making good progress, keeping Sergio Perez behind him. Over 2 seconds gap in the front. Over more than 2 seconds gap in the front for Max Verstappen, between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Daniel Ricciardo in 8th. Daniel Ricciardo in 8th position. They're showing Sergio Perez chasing down, hunting down Lando Norris. Now I think the reason why, okay, he's got DRS enabled again. I'm also gonna say Lando Norris McLaren does not seem slow, dude. Russell is in 8th. Alonso is in 7th, which is very good. Alonso, if you don't know, he is a former world champion. He left Formula 1 and came back this year. And for him to be in 7th position is very good. Especially for Alpine team, which is no longer the works team for Renault. Bottas 9 seconds behind the leaders. Perez is 8 seconds behind the leaders. Perez is literally on the verge of passing Norris. I don't think Norris will allow him to pass, and I can also see the McLaren does not seem that slow. Replay showing, who's this? Yuki Tsunoda, I think? Then you've got Carlos Sainz passing back markers, or passing someone in the back, because he's literally... Carlos Sainz is in 10th, so he passed Sebastian Vettel. It seems like they're showing that Bottas is slower, 0.3 of a second slower than Perez in front of him. Bottas is actually losing pace quite drastically, I won't lie. 4 seconds. That's 4 seconds, is that correct? Oh no, that is 1 second. 1 second behind, so... Bottas is 1.2 of a second behind Perez. Daniel Ricciardo is basically assessing his situation. It seems he's lost 4 places. Yeah, so it seems like Lando Norris is actually not fast enough because he's actually holding Perez and Bottas behind him, and that's causing Bottas to catch up to Perez, and that's causing Perez to be stuck behind Lando Norris. That is why he's 11 seconds behind the leader, so he's definitely slower. So Lando Norris is definitely slower than Hamilton and Verstappen in the front. So Stroll gained 3 positions, Alonso gained 1 position, George Russell gained 2 positions, Yuki Tsunoda gained 2 positions, Carlos Sainz gained 2, Vettel gained 3 actually. Raikkonen gained 6. That's one thing about Raikkonen, never underestimate the guy. He's got a lot of experience and he's he's 2007 world champion for Ferrari actually. Ricciardo gained no positions, Ocon gained 3 positions. Giovinazzi 0. Norris lost a position. Wait, so he passed the McLaren? Let's see, he must have passed him. Oh, he passed him at the 3rd corner. Corner number 3, he passed Lando Norris. Nice. The only reason why I'm saying nice is because for me the main thing is Red Bull needs to beat Mercedes. Lando Norris unfortunately is not capable of, his team is not going to beat Mercedes unfortunately. They're not completely useless, but they're definitely not on the same speed level. Oh, Bottas just went past Lando Norris. Bottas passed Lando Norris. Temperature issues for McLaren. That's what they're reporting, some temperature issues for McLaren. So now Bottas is now chasing after Perez again. Perez is now in 3rd, Bottas in 4th, Lando Norris in 5th. I think Lando Norris knew exactly that he will not be able to hold back the Red Bulls and the Mercedes. I think that was just too much to ask from a McLaren driver, especially if their car is just not up for the task. Verstappen is leading Lewis Hamilton actually almost by 3 seconds. Almost by 3 seconds. Almost, he's close to 3 seconds. 2.8, 2.9. Yuki Tsunoda, that's the sister AlphaTauri Red Bull team. And he's catching up to Russell. Russell's in 8th, Yuki Tsunoda. And the other Honda team, sister team, is in 9th. Yuki Tsunoda trying to catch up to George Russell. It's going to be an interesting situation, I won't lie. I think Yuki Tsunoda should be able to pass Russell because of the performance difference. I believe the Honda is just way more powerful. And unfortunately the Williams just doesn't. Like the Williams car, like I said, is one of the slowest cars on the grid. Second from the bottom. Second slowest team on the bottom. Bottom of all the drivers, all the teams, they're second slowest. Haas is the slowest team of all of them. That's why you'll always see Mick Schumacher and Mazepin in the bottom. Carlos Sainz is in 10th. So Carlos Sainz is also catching up to Yuki Tsunoda. So that's going to be a battle for 8th. You've got Carlos Sainz Ferrari chasing down Yuki Tsunoda, the Honda. And Yuki Tsunoda is trying to chase down Russell and try and catch Russell, pass him. The funny thing is, they were all speculating that it might rain this whole race weekend, but it didn't even rain once. Not in practice, not in qualifying, not in the race. I kept hearing them talking about no, but it's gonna rain. They're talking about rain and thunderstorms specifically on race day. And it looks like clear skies that I can see. There's a little bit of clouds, but that's basically okay. There is some clouds in the back, but it seems like they're not necessarily going to cause the race any issues. Maybe that they'll have rain later in the evening or something, but I don't think there'll be rain in this race. Most of the clouds are not rain clouds. I did see a lot of clouds in the back that seemed a little bit darker, but I just don't believe that that's going to be an issue for this race. During this race, I meant. So Perez is 14 seconds behind the leader. Sergio Perez is saying that his rear is starting, he's losing grip in his rear tires. So Red Bull of Sergio Perez is saying he's losing a little bit of rear grip, unfortunately. Yuki Tsunoda, Carlos Sainz, I can see them being so close to each other. Damn, Carlos Sainz is so close to Yuki Tsunoda. If Yuki Tsunoda does not pass Russell, then it's GG. Because I do not see the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz not passing him. So now it's the battle for 7. So now Russell has caught up to Alonso. So now it's the battle for 7. So now it's the battle for 7th. Everybody's trying to get past Alonso because Alonso's in 7th. Russell is just second behind Alonso. Then Yuki Tsunoda is less than a second. Carlos Sainz is almost 0.4 seconds, I believe. Less than a half a second behind Yuki Tsunoda. And then also not forgetting... Wait. And then not forgetting... Vettel might be... I would personally think that Vettel won't be able to do it, but I don't know, man. We have to wait and see. Alpine, the Williams is actually getting very close to Alonso. So George Russell is getting very close to passing Alonso, dude. He's actually trying to make moves. Plan B for the Williams, so George Russell seems like he has very limited time to be able to push with that car. It seems like his car is overheating. He might not have the reliability of performance that he is currently exhibiting, so he's pretty fast, but I don't think he can actually continue with that pace, unfortunately for him. Max Verstappen almost had an incident. Max Verstappen almost had an incident with his car. They say that he had to fight his rear end, which means he was most likely sliding. Hamilton's now 4 seconds behind, over 4 seconds behind Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton is saying he's struggling. Verstappen is also saying it's quite difficult to drive. They're showing that the tires on Verstappen is 60%, yet the tires on Hamilton is 70% lowest. Which is very interesting. Very interesting. Lewis Hamilton's tires is way better than Verstappen's tires. So technically he's most likely gonna fake a pit stop, but he won't actually go into the pit. He might obviously wait for Verstappen to pull the trigger first. The only reason why I do not believe that Verstappen and Red Bull have this race under control is because of Mercedes. I think especially with what happened to them last race. In France they learned, in Paul Ricard track they learned that they made a big mistake in their strategy, and trust me, now they know what to do and their strategy is going to be way more competitive. So this race might come down to strategy alone. I don't think anybody's going to actually physically pass anybody when it comes, if it's between Verstappen and Hamilton. I don't think we'll see the same thing happen. However, I do not know for sure, because remember, this is 70 laps, 71 laps. We're only at 22 laps now. So there's very much a chance that people are going to do undercuts and try and, go for longer stints, shorter stints, go for quick pit stops, go for more pit stops, go for second pit stops. Do more pit stops to just have more grip on their tires. Anything is possible, however, I'm not sure. So currently most of them are running medium tire. Hamilton is running a medium tire, 23 laps old. The reason why it's 23 laps more than what the actual laps of the race is, so now it's 24 laps because now it's showing 23 laps. So it's more than 24 laps. That's how old these tires are of Hamilton. The reason why is because they have to qualify with those tires. They are qualifying, they're practicing with those tires, and ultimately these are used tires. That's what it comes down to. Okay, so let's have a look at the standings. We've got Verstappen first, Lewis Hamilton following, Sergio Perez in third, Valtteri Bottas in fourth, Lando Norris in fifth. Sixth we've got Lance Stroll. Fastest lap for Max Verstappen again. Fastest lap for Max Verstappen, interesting. Pit window is open. The pit window is open for those on a one-stop strategy or a two-stop or a three-stop. They are specifically saying the pit window is open for a one-stop strategy. Interesting. So I'm guessing that if anybody is only going to do one-stop strategy, then this is when they're going to most likely pit. I just doubt it, man. It's too early, man. It's way too early for a one-stop. Fastest lap again for Max Verstappen. 1 minute, 9 seconds, 0.5 tenths of a second. So they're just talking to Günther Steiner, the Haas team principal, and he basically told Mazepin to pit because Mazepin and Mick Schumacher seem to be getting very close to each other, maybe even battling each other, which is something this particular team principal always has a problem with. These drivers are always trying to battle each other, and it's completely understandable because their cars are the only cars that are the worst performing cars. So the only guys that have to race is themselves basically. But there is Nicholas Latifi in position 19th. It's interesting that Nicholas Latifi didn't pass them already. Max Verstappen is just trying to build his lead, dude. Slowly but surely. He's almost at 5 seconds. Okay, I think he just hit 5 seconds actually. The only thing that's going to happen here is team strategy. We don't know who is going to pit how many times. How many times is Verstappen going to pit and how many times is Lewis going to pit? Will they try and do the same thing with the undercut? Will they try and see if they can pit more times, you know, use fresher tires, use faster tires to catch up to whoever's in front of them? I'm curious to know myself. So, ooh, my goodness, Charles Leclerc had to pass the Alpine of Ocon, but it was very, very, very dodgy, man. Like the move that Ocon did, Ocon was basically blocking Charles Leclerc in a very fast corner, which is very dangerous. Charles Leclerc had to like literally twitch his... Oh, who's sliding? Someone is sliding. Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton is pushing to the edge. He cannot keep up with... He's saying he's getting small vibrations, but he's basically running off the track, trying to keep up with Max Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton is legitimately looking very bad. He looks like he cannot maintain his pace. He's forcing the car to maintain the pace, but he cannot. He went very wide. Oh my goodness, he was almost sliding. He almost slid off the track, dude. He almost slid off the track. His wheels were literally on the gravel. You have to give it to him. The fact that he kept that car under control just shows how much experience he has, man. Like that is some next level driver skill, because his car was basically sliding. His wheels were on the gravel at that point. Or should I say his left rear wheel was on the gravel. So at that point, most of the drivers, especially Nikita Mazepin or Mick Schumacher, all the rookie drivers, you will literally see them driving, you know, sliding off the track when that happens. Because at that point, I don't think they will know how to handle the car and keep it under control. So Max Verstappen is complaining, saying that the wind is making it difficult. That's his message to his team. He's saying the wind is making it difficult for him. So that is why Hamilton lost some time. It's purely because of that situation. You see, the main thing that you have to take away from there is Lewis Hamilton is pushing. He's trying to keep up with Verstappen. He's trying to keep up. Okay, so the Red Bull team is coming out. Who is going to pit first? Is it Perez or is it Verstappen? Perez. So Perez is in the pits first. Perez in the pits. Interesting. Interesting. They put Perez first. See, what's happening now is there's mind games, because whoever puts first in the leaders, the guy that puts first will have the disadvantage. That is why Verstappen is trying to stay out, trying to see if he could maintain his pace. Probably the team is asking him, begging him, please do not pit yet. Dude, who's sliding? There's someone, it's either Bottas or it's Lewis Hamilton. No, it can't be Lewis Hamilton, but someone was sliding. It might have been an Aston Martin. It might have been Stroll, actually, that was sliding. So it's basically at the second corner. So after the pit straight, the second corner, someone was sliding like almost as bad as Lewis Hamilton. The only difference is his wheel was not touching the gravel. Who's this? This is 7-7, so that is Valtteri Bottas. 7-7, Valtteri Bottas is in the pit. He just left the pits. So Valtteri Bottas is doing everything, you know, in relation to the teammate of Verstappen. So if Perez is pit, then Valtteri Bottas pits. Oh, he just leapfrogged Perez. Damn, Valtteri Bottas passed Perez just by pitting. Now the question is, can Perez actually pass Valtteri Bottas? Okay, so, next Mercedes. Is that Lewis Hamilton coming in? It has to be Lewis Hamilton, because Bottas already pitted. Come on, Perez, pass Bottas. Come on, Perez, pass Bottas, please. Okay, so Lewis Hamilton just came in and out. 2.2 seconds, that's decent. I think that they need to... I think they need to put Verstappen, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what their strategy is going to show them, what the best option is. And I don't know what their actual strategy is. The fact that Bottas leapfrogged past Perez just by pitting is crazy, man. Come on, Perez, pass Bottas. That's all we want from you. We just want you to beat their second driver. Make sure to keep a Mercedes behind you, and then we're all very happy, man. Okay, so Max Verstappen will pit. So exactly after Lewis Hamilton pitted, now I'm just hoping that Lewis Hamilton does not pass him, dude. That was a really fast pit. 2 seconds, so it's 2 seconds flat, so it's 2/10 of a second faster than Lewis Hamilton's pit. Yeah, he's way ahead of Lewis Hamilton, dude. It makes me wonder why. What is happening? Why did they specifically put Lewis Hamilton first, even though his tires technically were still better? Fastest lap for Bottas, 1 minute 9 seconds flat, almost 1 minute 9 seconds, and then 7/100ths of a second. Is that George Russell? I do want to see where George Russell ends. Oh no, they messed up. Are they fueling the car? Were they fueling the car? Was Williams fueling the Williams car? What were they doing? Because the car was in... Dude, they screwed up Russell's opportunity. Nah, so bad, man. Where's Russell now? Russell is now all the way down in... Oh, 18th. 18th because of his pit crew, man. That's so bad. That's really bad. The guy was in 8th position, man. He's now in 18th. Poor guy, man. That sucks. The guy did so well in qualifying, did so well in the race, and then his pit crew just screwed him up. Completely screwed up all his potential. I'm just wondering if they were trying to fuel his car. If they were trying to fuel his car, then that is... I don't think that's actually allowed. They're supposed to drive on the fuel that they start the race with. They're not allowed to fuel cars. Damn, Russell got really screwed, man. So now there's a battle for 7th. Raikkonen versus Ricciardo versus Leclerc. Carlos Sainz is now so far in 6th. Max Verstappen, fastest lap. Fastest lap, Max Verstappen, 1 minute 9 seconds, 0.04. So that's basically 300ths of a second faster. 300ths of a second faster than Valtteri Bottas, which is almost nothing. Like, it's just... Lando Norris is in... Is that 5th? Lando Norris in 5th place again, where he should be. It's where you would expect... No, he's still in the pit, so he's not come out yet. So he'll basically come out around what? Around 6... So Max Verstappen is radioing his team, complaining about some brake wire problem. I'm not sure if it's a problem or it's just something that he wants the team to adjust from their side. I'm not sure if it's an actual problem, but it's a brake wire situation that he's communicating with his team with. It could be a problem, it could not be a problem. We have to wait and see. Hamilton is still 4 point something seconds, 4.5 seconds. Actually catching up to Verstappen, it seems. All that Perez has to do is put enough pressure on Bottas to make a mistake, because Bottas makes mistakes, dude. Also Sector Hamilton, Sector 1. Hamilton is pushing very hard now and I'm not sure why. Is he pushing his car because he's told to pause Verstappen? Or was he told that Verstappen has got a brake wire issue and that he needs to try and get past Verstappen? I'm not sure if it's a problem, but he just radioed his team regarding a brake wires. Hamilton is 9/100ths of a second faster. So now his team is informing him. Lewis Hamilton fastest lap 1 minute 8 seconds 0.3. That's pretty fast, dude. That's a fast lap, dude. 1 minute 8 seconds 0.3. That is some crazy stuff, man. I just hope that Verstappen does not have a mechanical issue. If there's a mechanical issue forcing him to drive slower, that's gonna suck. Okay, I think Verstappen is now pushing his car again because Lewis Hamilton is not gaining any time on him anymore. Yeah, so they are saying that Verstappen, when he was complaining about the wind, he wasn't complaining about the winds per se. He was complaining, asking how he could change his wings, his front wing settings, and they assisted him with changing his front wing settings. However, we don't have much information regarding the brake wire. If it is an issue, we still have to wait and see. 3 seconds behind. So Perez is falling behind Bottas, which is not nice. So basically, the team has just informed Verstappen, or should I say that team principal Christian Horner has informed Verstappen that their pace is fine now. His pace is fine. However, they did lose some serious tire. They did have some serious tire wear during those stints that he did to try and make sure that Hamilton stays behind him. I think Hamilton is pushing again, if I'm looking at the gap. Hamilton is now preserving his tires, so where Verstappen is pushing his tires, Lewis Hamilton is now preserving his tires, which is very concerning. This could very much be a situation where they are baiting Verstappen to make another pit stop just so they could not have to pit, and I think this time they will definitely succeed, because Mercedes do not make the same mistake twice. Like that is one thing. Red Bull did it twice. They did it last year in Hungary, and they did it this year in Barcelona, where the Mercedes would just catch up to them and pass them at the final stages, purely because they didn't have the correct backup tires. They didn't act accordingly to strategy that could happen to them. All I want is Perez. I want Perez to catch up and pass Bottas, dude. That's all that Perez has to do. Just catch up and pass Bottas. What I think is going to happen is Perez will definitely go into the pits very soon. I would say around 50, somewhere there. Perez will definitely go into the pits. I'm guessing Bottas will go into the pits as well. But I think the race between Bottas and Perez is not yet over. I think Perez will definitely, and actually is very good now, because it used to be close to 3 seconds. He is actually 3 seconds now. It's very hard because he's keeping a distance from Bottas, and it's not like he's actually looking like he's about to pass Bottas. It doesn't look like he's pressuring Bottas. It doesn't even look like he's actually attempting to pass Bottas. Ricciardo is now going to the pits because they hope that they could overtake Raikkonen. So that is McLaren. Ricciardo is going to the pits to try and see if he could position himself to overtake Raikkonen. Raikkonen is now in 7th position. I'm curious what's going to happen with Bottas, man. Valtteri Bottas will pit again, that's for sure. And I think Sergio Perez has to act according to what Bottas does, because that's who they're racing. So as soon as Bottas pits, then Sergio Perez will have to pit. There's no ifs or buts about it. I'm just wondering if maybe the strategy, if Red Bull maybe puts a strategy forth and maybe allows him to pit just before Bottas, then maybe, just maybe, they will force Bottas to stay out on old tires for longer, and then there will be no chance. But they would have to decide when to put him. They can't put him too soon, otherwise he would have to come in again for pits, or he's just going to be a sitting duck anyways. So Leclerc is in the pit, Russell is again in the pit. 3 seconds pit stop for Leclerc, man, that is bad. Hamilton is actually still catching up to Verstappen. Like, I think the main problem is that Hamilton is unpredictable, because it seems like Hamilton's team is telling him to preserve it. What did George Russell end the George Russell's race has ended? I think the reason why his race ended is because he qualified in 8th position, and the pit crew basically just destroyed his opportunity of getting a point, and that's the main reason why. That's bad, man. Pit crew destroyed Russell's opportunity of getting a point for them. I still wonder if they tried to fill up his car. If that's the case, then they screwed up heavily. So Carlos Sainz is in fifth. So let's go through the position. Verstappen first, Hamilton second, Bottas third, Perez in fourth, Carlos Sainz in fifth, Lando Norris in sixth, and then Ricciardo seventh, Stroll in eighth, Alonso in ninth, Yuki Tsunoda in 10th. So nothing really happened with Yuki Tsunoda because he was supposed to battle for 8th, but he's still in 10th. Or he's actually in 10th. He was in 9th before. Vettel in 11th, this position, Giovinazzi in 12th, Raikkonen in 13th, Leclerc in 14th, because he just came out of the pit, Ocon in 15th, Mazepin in 16th, Mick Schumacher in 17th, Nicolas Latifi in 18th. So what I want to say is that so Hamilton is 4.5 seconds behind Verstappen. So that gap, Hamilton and Verstappen is keeping that gap honest. They are not. Verstappen is not allowing Hamilton to come too close, and I do think Verstappen from time to time was trying to increase his lap performance, and then Verstappen just answers back and makes sure that he keeps him 4.5 or 4.3 seconds behind him. Bottas and Perez. Now I don't know. Perez was almost 3 seconds behind Bottas. Now I just don't know if Perez will actually be able to pass. Now I've already mentioned this, it all comes down to their pit strategy. I think if they can pit Perez just before Bottas is supposed to come to the pit, then they would easily pass Bottas, because what's going to happen is Perez goes into the pits, comes out with fresh tires, Bottas goes into the pits, Perez will most likely either pass Bottas or he will be on tires that are warmed up properly to be able to pass Bottas anyways. So I think if they can somehow time it correctly, or just figure out what is the optimal strategy for him to pit again, then I think Bottas will have a very tough chance of passing or maintaining third place, because right now is third place position for Bottas. This is where the Constructors' Championship come in. Now Mercedes are trying to put 2 of their cars in the front row, or should I say in the front, in the top 3. And all that Perez has to do is just make sure to somehow, the team and Perez has to somehow strategize to get themselves in front of Bottas, somehow. Carlos Sainz is 20 seconds behind Perez, so Carlos Sainz is not even close to getting to 4th place. So Carlos Sainz, he is in 3rd place, but he's not even close to basically. Oh, he's going to the pits now. So if Carlos Sainz is going to the pits now only, then he will never be able to catch up to Perez. So that is why Norris is now in front of Carlos Sainz. Norris is now in 5th. Norris is 28 seconds behind Perez. Perez is still 2.6 seconds behind Bottas. Now the reason why Perez is trying to stay as close to Bottas as possible, which I still don't think he's close enough, but 2.6 is still better than more like 4 seconds. Perez is trying to keep as close as possible to Bottas so he could ultimately see if Bottas makes a mistake, and he can also capitalize if Bottas decides to go into the pit. However, we have seen that even if Bottas goes to the pit first, it seems that Bottas might still maintain his lead over Perez. Maintain his position, I mean. He might still maintain his position. Dude, I'm barely talking to my microphone. I just adjusted myself to be able to see everything and position my head to point at the microphone specifically. So Alonso's angry because when Verstappen lapped Alonso basically was basically in a bad spot because he couldn't you couldn't actually hold on to a better position. I believe it was supposed to pass Lance Stroll. So they are just mentioning that Lance is not very happy that he had to get passed at by Max Verstappen, where he was passed by Max Verstappen, because it put him in a very bad position. They're just saying that Stroll gained 3 positions, Carlos Sainz gained 5 positions. Carlos Sainz is gaining a lot of positions, but then again, we all know that Leclerc had a problem with his front wing. He had front wing damage. Carlos Sainz is doing very well in the race pace. When it comes to racing, actual race performance, Carlos Sainz is doing a very good job. I think he's outperformed Charles Leclerc almost in every race, almost. Many of them, and the majority of them. Carlos Sainz doing a very good pass on Stroll, dude. Carlos Sainz easily making it look like he's not even trying to pass someone, man. He put a move on Stroll, which is very interesting. So Stroll's Aston Martin could not keep Carlos Sainz behind, and now Lewis Hamilton is saying that he's losing time on the straights from Max Verstappen. Hamilton is now 5 seconds behind, 5.6 seconds behind. Now it's 6 seconds. Damn, it's already 6 seconds. I'm guessing Max Verstappen is deciding to put the hammer down again. He's speeding up more. Come on, Perez. Perez is now 2.1. I think Perez is slowly but surely trying to catch Bottas off guard. I think slowly but surely Perez is trying to capitalize and hope that Bottas' tires, which is much older than his tires, will actually fall off so he can actually catch up and pass Bottas. Beautiful move. Charles Leclerc just passing Giovinazzi, the Alfa Romeo driver, which is actually kind of a sister team for Ferrari, because Alfa Romeo, I believe, is basically a part of the Ferrari brand. So it's basically like Red Bull owning Alfa Tauri, which is their sister Honda team, with Yuki Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly. Poor Gasly is not disqualified. Poor Gasly, is basically out of the race because the fact that he lost his left rear wheel with a puncture, and that destroyed the wheel completely. They couldn't even remove the wheel. They couldn't remove the wheel in its entirety. So they just had to, tell him to DQ. Who's hanging back? Perez is now 1.7 seconds behind Bottas. I'm really hoping that Perez can do what he needs to do. Because what needs to happen here is they need to somehow get the optimal strategy that they need to pit as quickly as possible, most likely going on mediums, but they have to make sure they have enough laps till the end. I'm guessing they're gonna put around 53, I think. I'm just guessing, I'm not sure. So Esteban Ocon is now hunting down Kimi Räikkönen. That is the battle for 13th place. Bottas is now unhappy that he pitted first. The fact that he pitted first put him in that position in the first place. He has to realize that, right? So basically what's happening, Bottas's tires, the grip levels on his tires are falling off, and he's pissed off with the team. He's very unhappy with the team that his tires are having less grip, and Perez is literally catching up to him. Perez was almost 3 seconds behind him. He's now 1.2 seconds behind him. Now it's 1.4. So Bottas made up 2 places. I'm guessing he won't stay there for long. Norris has lost 2 places. That is pretty sad. And then Carlos Sainz has gained 6 places. Carlos Sainz has gained 6 places. He was in 12 positions, now in 6th place. That's pretty good, dude. Lance Stroll is now in 2nd place. Remember, he's driving for Aston Martin, 7th place. So I guess Vettel is not going to be the top driver for Aston Martin today. Alonso is in 8th place. He hasn't made any positions. He stayed exactly in 8th and he's still in 8th. Yuki Tsunoda has made up 2 spots. He's right behind Alonso. Vettel has made up 4 spots, which is good for him. And then Giovinazzi has made up 3 spots. Raikkonen made up 5 spots, which is good. So what I think is going to happen is either the race is going to end this way, because remember, they're using hard tires. Hard tires are supposed to last longer. Hamilton is basically 6 seconds behind Verstappen. It doesn't seem like Hamilton would be able to do anything, get past Verstappen, try and push Verstappen, pressure Verstappen. It seems like Hamilton and Mercedes are just going to have to be satisfied with the 2nd place. However, if you know anything about Formula 1, oh, he locked up his brakes. He locked up his brakes. So that is Vettel. Vettel locked up his brakes as Leclerc was passing him. Leclerc passed Vettel. I believe that is 3rd. No, this is the 3rd corner. Because Vettel is like really he was about to pass him, and then he passed him on the straight going into turn 4, before turn 4. But there's definitely something wrong with the braking of Vettel. He's not controlling that car properly. He's not controlling the braking of his car, because he's actually he's putting himself in very bad spots, because braking as much as he is basically causing him to lose his racing line, because he's actually locking his wheels, so it's causing him not to follow his racing line fluently. So it seems like no one is going to pit. It seems like this is a one-stop strategy race. 7 seconds, dude. Hamilton is now 7 seconds behind Verstappen.